Welcome to Student Connections, where students connect with their community.
Hello, and welcome to Student Connections. This is our last show of the school year, and today we'll begin by learning about the annual Bike Rodeo, hosted by the Marysville Police and Fire Departments. Each year, 4th grade students ride their bikes to the Public Safety Building to watch trick riders and learn more about safety tips. Let's hear more.
Recently, the Marysville Fire and Police Department joined forces with the Marysville Elementary Schools for the annual Bike Rodeo. 4th graders from Gardens, Washington, and Morton Elementary Schools rode their bikes to the Marysville Police Station and learned about bike and fire safety. They also enjoyed watching BMX riders do tricks. The students were provided a lunch of hot dogs and chips. We asked Police Sergeant Tom Cowie about the safety tips the kids learned at the rodeo.
Some of the tips that we provided at the Public Safety Building for the 4th grade students on the day of the bicycle rodeo consisted of helmet safety, wearing your helmet to stay injury-free. Also, we incorporated with the atmosphere that was there and also the trick bike team that was there how to stay drug-free, whether it's bicycling or any sport you're involved in. And also the rules of the road, how important it is to follow the safety rules such as stop signs, yield signs, and being courteous to other people that are on the sidewalks or roads.
We also asked Sergeant Cowie how long the bike rodeo has been going on.
The bike rodeo has been in existence for approximately right around 15 years. The instrumental groups that are helping run the bike rodeo are the Marysville Lions Club, who contributes to some of the costs. Also the Port Huron Hospital Foundation, Bicycle Safety Committee. They send volunteers down as well as provide monies for the operations. And our local Meijer store helps contribute with the food and the bicycles themselves.
Finally, we asked why Sergeant Cowie encourages students to come to the bike rodeo and learn about fire and bike safety.
We invite the 4th graders down to the bike rodeo for a number of things. First of all, it's to get the exposure to the police and fire and also the volunteers that are around there, a positive environment for them. It also gives the positive interaction with the fire personnel. They take the 4th grade students through their smokehouse and give them instructions on how to stay safe if they happen to run into that type of environment. Also, on the police side, it gives them an aspect on how to operate a bicycle safety according to the laws of the state of Michigan.
Principal Jennifer Leishman from Washington Elementary School explains how many students attended the Marysville Bike Rodeo this year.
We had about 240 4th graders that were involved in our bike rodeo.
Mrs. Leishman tells us why the students enjoyed the bike rodeo again this year.
Well, of course, I think the 4th graders enjoyed the trickster bike riders that were there, but the principals truly hope that the message that they took away from the day was the helmet safety and fire safety and those relationships with our Marysville Fire and Police Departments.
Finally, we asked if the bike rodeo cost anything for the students to attend.
No, there was no cost to our 4th graders, which was very exciting for us. We do have many sponsors, though, that we appreciated putting on the day. We had Meijers that was helping out, Marysville Police and Fire Department, the Lions Club, and then also Port Huron Hospital Foundation. So we thank them for all their support for the day.
It sounds like the bike rodeo was a blast for the elementary students this year. I'm sure next year's 4th graders are looking forward to riding their bike over in the spring. Join us next time. I'm Mickey Brass for M6, your hometown station.
In our next segment, producer Maddie McLean explains how several Marysville High School students are reaching across the globe to help others. The students interviewed participated in mission trips, and now they're sharing their stories.
Marysville High School's vision statement says, "Every student will excel, both personally and for the benefit of humanity." Some of our students have taken the statement to heart. Today, we'll take a look at some of the students at Marysville High who have been involved in missions and efforts to live out this vision statement. First, we asked Maddie McLean and Caitlin Steele to tell us about their mission trips.
The missions trip I went on was to Malawi, Africa with Hope Endeavors. What we did was we stayed at an orphan care center where they housed 30 children with HIV/AIDS, and we had a Christmas party for them, and we also took buckets of hope to the surrounding village, which had towels, rice, toothbrushes, and toothpaste, and just your normal necessities.
On my mission trip, I went to Alaska, and we did 5-day clubs, which are little vacation Bible schools where we taught Bible stories, played games, stuff like that with the kids. And then on the weekend, we went to a fair, and we made balloon animals and told the kids about Jesus.
Next, we asked the students how they got involved in missions.
My parents actually started Hope Endeavors, so I've grown up in the missions family, so it's just always been a part of my life.
I got involved through my church, through Father Art asking me if I would be willing to go, and it sounded like a great opportunity to increase my horizon.
Well, this missions trip, we went to Alaska, but over the summer, I work with a organization called Child Evangelism Fellowship, and they're the ones that sponsored the trip and took us on the trip. So I got involved with the missions trip, just going to church and working with the area missionary that runs CEF.
Then we asked how they raised funds for their trip.
For every Christmas and every birthday since I was little, I would always ask for money for my missions trip, so I've been saving up for a long time.
Through canned food drives, through spaghetti dinners, and through people just donating.
To fund the trip, we raised money with support letters. That was our main way of raising money. And we also had some churches that supported us, and our leader went and spoke at those churches and got their support.
Next, we asked Kelvin Kobe if he would want to go on another mission trip in the future.
I would love to go on another trip in the future because it's just an amazing experience.
Then we asked Maddie McLean and Caitlin Steele what was their hardest aspect of the trip.
The hardest aspect of my trip was adjusting to their culture. Just because something is different, it's not wrong, but you just have to take what they believe and work around that.
The hardest aspect of the trip was having everything. At first, everything was going wrong. We had a place that we were supposed to stay, and their roof caved in, and then we had somewhere else that we were going to stay, and we ended up actually staying on a completely different area than we originally planned. Had to come up with new places to have the clubs, and the food didn't work out at first, and so everything was going wrong, but God really worked it out, and it was really cool to see Him work.
Next, we asked students about their best part of their trip.
The best part of my trip was seeing how other people can worship God when they have so little and they're so thankful for everything.
The best part of the trip was just helping out and seeing the smiles on every one of their faces.
The best part was definitely seeing God work, not only in the lives of the kids, but within the group, within just all of our relationships with Him, and I think we all grew a lot and learned a lot about Him from it.
Then we asked Kelvin Kobe and Caitlin Steele which part of the trip had the biggest impact on them.
The poverty had the biggest impact on me because, here in Michigan, we don't see that. And we don't see kids out in the streets with nothing on. And I had to see that every day there.
The biggest impact on me, I'm going to repeat myself again and say it's definitely seeing God work, because it's amazing to see how He really is involved in every little part of our lives, and it's awesome.
Finally, we asked Maddie McLean and Caitlin Steele how their trip has changed their view of Marysville.
My trip has changed my view of Marysville by realizing how lucky we have it here, where we take education for granted and housing and electricity when so many other people don't have that and would give anything for what we have.
How has it changed my life here and now? I think every day that changes your life, because it changes the way that you look at everything around you and everyone around you, because you realize just how important every single person is to God and how involved He is in everyone's life. And it just changes the way that you think about things.
Marysville students truly have lived out their vision statement and will continue to do so in an effort to benefit not only themselves, but also humanity.
Marysville High School students have many opportunities to stretch themselves through a variety of educational options. Producer Alyssa Hall Newsome explains more about students today can prepare for their futures.
At Marysville High School, students are challenging themselves to be prepared for college and their future career goals. Marysville provides dual enrollment, online classes, and AP classes to help students drive themselves towards greatness. We asked some students what extra activities they are taking.
I took AP US History, AP World History, and AP Stats, and I took those because I really enjoy history and I liked learning about that. And same with stats. I really enjoy that class.
Last semester, I took German, and the reason why I took it is I have a very big love for languages and culture. I'm a big fanatic about it, and plus learning a new language would also mean meeting new people, and it's a great experience to learn.
Along with the previous activities come new changes, and we asked the principal, Mr. Farnsworth, about them.
As far as changes for next school year, there are no mandates from the state of Michigan. However, locally and in our building, we continually try to improve and strive to personalize education for our students. So whether it's through AP classes, online learning, tech programs, dual enrollment, extracurricular activities, fine arts, sports, we're continually trying to improve for our students.
The students then told us about how they feel about the class's preparation for college.
I believe that the AP classes prepare you for college with the amount of workload that they give you, and it's not just doing an assignment. It's more of like conceptual things. You're not only answering a question, you're figuring out why you are answering this question and why that turns out to be the way it is. It's a deeper level of thinking there.
It prepared me for college because there's going to be many diverse cultures that are going to be coming from all over the world. I mean, it's not like if you go to Western, there's only Michigan kids there. There's people all over the world that come to like any colleges here, and some of them don't speak very well English, so it would be wonderful to learn their native tongue and just to kind of meet new people and see what they see through their eyes.
Mr. Farnsworth gave us more insight about the upcoming changes and discussed why they are offered.
Some new changes for next year that are local and from the district, not from the state, is online learning. We are expanding our online learning. We offer several classes online, and we'll expand that next year. Some of them are taken on-site this year. However, next year, students will be off-site and take some online learning courses. And that's a little bit different than we've done in the past. Another thing that we're doing different next year for the first time and we're piloting is a blended learning class. Next year we're going to teach English 12, and one of our classes will be at the beginning of the day, English 12. Students will be on site on Tuesdays and Thursdays. However, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday, they will not have to report to school until second hour, and they will do that schoolwork online. And our teacher, Mrs. McLaughlin, is working on that, putting that curriculum together right now for next year.
The students told us about why they would recommend the classes to students debating about it.
I would recommend taking an AP class because it prepares you for college, and if you get a 5 on that test and you get your credit, then you don't have to worry about taking that class in college.
I highly recommend people taking German or just any other language classes or any even online classes. It helps you. It's your time. You do it whenever you want to. It fits your schedule, and it's just all about you. You don't have to worry about 30 other kids asking the teacher questions and never getting to you. It's just all about you, and it helps. It really does.
The principal touched base on the financial aspect for the changes and the requirements students need to take AP classes in dual enrollment.
The changes that we look for each year are to continually improve for our students, and that's our priority. We want to personalize our education for our students, so with blended learning, online learning, AP classes, all those things I mentioned earlier. It's more than just classes. It's the activities they do after school, it's the conduct in the building, it's the open campus lunch. All of those things are geared toward personalizing our students and their education here. We want our students to want to be here. We want our students to feel safe here. We want them to feel like they have a niche here that they feel good about. So it could be a club, it could be a class. Whatever that is, we're always going to strive to find those niches for kids that they feel like this is a special place for them that they want to be. There are no minimal requirements. It will be limited numbers. We won't be able to do it for everybody. So what we'll try to do is fit the students' needs and try to cap it at whatever number and meet the highest priorities that our students have based on a needs basis. As far as AP classes, any student that wants to take an AP class here at Marysville High School, they can. Probably the only one that has a minimal requirement would be dual enrollment classes. The Michigan Department of Education has set minimal requirements for dual enrollment, and it's basically test scores from their Plan, Explore, or ACT. And if you meet those minimum requirements, you can take dual enrollment classes in grades 9 through 12.
Hopefully this helps some students with their choices to benefit their future. I'm Melissa Hall Newsome for M6, your hometown station.
Producers Jim Sturridge and Nick Cook are huge movie fans. In fact, their knowledge goes so beyond the basics, they like to delve deeper into the storylines, director styles, and production techniques. Today, we will share some of their secret techniques used to make movie magic.
Hello, and welcome to Between the Frames Part 2.
We previously discussed the history of Hollywood in Part 1, but today we are here to show you the technical aspects of the movies, from the camera angles, to the editing, to the final product.
Right now we are sitting here at this table. It looks like a nondescript classroom, but as the camera zooms out, you see we have several lighting fixtures, a boom mic, and more than one camera.
This is only a basic set for the broadcast. As the production value increases, the tools of the set become more elaborate.
One of the first investments is in cameras for, you guessed it, shooting the movie. Then it expands to lighting, audio, set building, acting, and final edits.
But before a camera is rented or a scene is scouted, the director and the script need to go through significant storyboarding to create a cohesive story with the proper handling of the writer and the director's vision. It sets the project up for success, leaving only execution to be performed.
Let's begin with camera angles. We have Wayne here using the Steadicam, a weighted gyroscopic camera mount that does exactly what its name implies, making the shot steady. You've probably seen this tool used before without noticing it.
What you see here are two lock shots, here and here. They are the stable shots that involve only basic zoom in and zoom out effects.
Camera angles can become very diverse. The types of shot you use is only limited to your imagination. Next shot we are going to show you is a tracking shot. This shot is used in several movies and remains to be an efficient angle.
And a shot that many critics and audiences reference are these shaky cam sections. Though these references are usually made with a negative connotation, the proper use of the style is invaluable, especially with immersion.
The shot was first implemented by Sam Raimi in his horror comedy classic, Evil Dead franchise, that found the camera mounted onto planks and moved throughout the setting. Despite the intentions of being steady, Raimi found the section ideal for the feelings he sought to evoke. In planning movies, the plot revolves around the set pieces. A set piece is a memorable plot device or scene used for dramatic or comedic payoff to the viewer.
These are seen often in the way of planning sequences, creative action sequences, or in some cases, using both. Set pieces require extensive blocking for the shot composition to invite the audience in.
So you beat a guy like that by drawing him in with three things. Distraction.
Whoa, what is happening?
Diversion. And division. Then you put him on display for the whole world to see. What
In the past, the completely digital sections could easily be identified, but with advances in stunts as well as editing, the post-production tweaking has been trimmed down altogether.
As the clips can show you, most stylized pieces have some kind of affiliation with comic books.
Someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too.
Another post-shooting effect that is often seen is frame-by-frame digital editions, like that seen here.
Eric, you said yourself, we're the better men. This is the time to prove it.
The reasons for these additions are simple, but at the same time, ingenious. With permits, you can rent helicopters to look military ready, but no amount of permits gives you the right to shoot a missile in a barn. Directors have used effects like lens flares to give the project grit or realism that we see in reality. This, like most editing, is used sparingly because overuse devalues the effect, but you can hardly argue with the effect making New England look just like California.
Location is basically another character in a movie. It has a character that is infused to the literal look of the area. This can be an easy trip down the road or a long international flight for the entire cast and crew.
Unconscious in the minds of most moviegoers is the amount of thinking that a writer and director put into not only each individual scene, but into the movie as a whole to mold a coherent story. In pre-production, the director sits down with his team as they begin plans for equipment rental, location, acting prospects, and most importantly is the overarching themes and the messages. The correct execution of technical aspects, as well as the proper handling of the director's vision of the finished project, can lead to critical acclaim as well as audience enjoyment.
Editing can be as simple as putting two video tracks together, or as complicated as building an environment around the actors. For example, take a look at Jim on the green screen.
Our green screen uses a chroma feature in either production or post-production. It filters out the color that's least common, which is seen behind me as the green. Unfortunately, the green can reflect off of a collar of a shirt, so that's why I'm wearing this suit and tie. It could be any color it really wants to be. It's just the color that's least common throughout the environment. In the same way, editors can add smoke and flying debris, due to the danger of throwing broken off rocks at the actors and pumping smoke onto the set.
In nearly every case, the directors and writers are present for the editing process, bringing together what they envisioned.
When the shots are planned in succession and embrace camera continuity, we're given sequences like this that previews the style and the character to come.
This type of sequence also eliminates the need to hire a third party to create a title sequence. This peaks into the tone of the movie to come.
Post-production sound and music is like adding icing to the cake. It adds feeling to the scenes and in some cases, legitimacy to the digital additions.
Fight scenes, gunshots, and vehicle sounds are usually added after the shooting to appeal to our ears. You can suspend reality, but as an audience member, it's harder to suspend it to the point where you can only remain invested without any sounds.
No matter the genre, all movies have a common thread, requiring characters that the audience can identify with, as well as struggles that the audience can be brought into.
Those that we remember are well-rounded pawns in the director's large-scale game, prompting the audience and actors alike to buy in and to experience his vision.
Thanks for joining us for Between the Frames Part 2. We're the Film Geeks. Thanks for watching.
We hope you enjoyed today's program. We look forward to bringing you more great programs next fall. Have a great summer. I'm Liz Sturtridge for M6, your hometown station.